Nobody gives a shit about COVID, Lamau? No, they do. In fact, we do at the rescue pretty heavily because ferrets can catch COVID from us. They have ACE2 receptors just like humans. They get the same exact kind of problems. When I actually got COVID in the beginning and it almost killed me, Loki, my ferret, also got COVID. And it took 6 months of recovery for her, and we had to put her on a little inhaler mask that we put on her face. We actually had to put salmon oil inside of it to get her to take the thing. So you have to get COVID just like people do. It's pretty ass, honestly. That's why they're used for animal testing for, infectious diseases, because they have ACE2 receptors just like you do. It wasn't a nebulizer. It's actually like a little canister that you put the inhaler on, and then you have to put salmon oil inside of it, so they want to eat the salmon oil, and then you spray the inhaler. Yeah. So, nah, shit sucks. So anybody who's like, no one cares about COVID, okay, it's just ACE2 receptor, not H2. Yeah, suck. This is a joke, right? What, the ferret getting COVID? That's not a joke, no. And it has nothing to do with California. Ferrets are illegal in California. I live in Washington State, bud. How did it affect me? Well, my recovery was about 2.5 years, so I got long COVID. My lungs shut down at one point. I almost died. They had me in and out of the ER for a long time. I think the worst part is I went through what was called happy hypoxia, which is I feel good. I feel great, but I just need to sit down for a minute. And then my lips turned blue. So it was like a huge problem. I almost suffocated to death, standing in my own kitchen. Yeah, it's not great. But I ended up surviving through that. And then months afterwards, I was still having breathing problems, and they had me on an inhaler. The person who gave me the steroid inhaler never told me you're supposed to wash your mouth out after using your steroid inhaler. So this can lead to a fungal overgrowth, which I didn't know. And I went to the doctor because I was like, my mouth is burning all the time. Like, what the hell's going on? And they're like, oh, that might be fungus. Let's figure this out. And they gave me like an antifungal, and the antifungal actually made it so I could breathe again instantly. Because what had happened is I got COVID into a fungal infection in my lungs that we didn't know. And then I finally recovered from that with the antifungals, which is like, okay. Yeah, but now after that, I was able to do stuff again. If you want to see it in data, I can actually show you this in data. It's kind of wild. We'll go to streams. I used to stream 7 days a week back in the day, and right here is where I went to DreamHack in January 2020, and I got COVID. And you can see what happened to my stream schedule. There were like months where I just streamed like 3 days. You could actually watch it happen, and then like I finally recovered, and I was able to start doing stuff again, and then like we fixed the fungus problem, and then I was able to do stuff again, and everything was cool. And I've been able to do it ever since, and I've gone back to being able to stream. Yep. So you can see my recovery and data. Yeah. So like anybody that's like, it's not real or anything. I think the most wild thing is when I first got it, I got it back in 2020 in like the early access mode where like no one had it, but I went to an international convention. So like get wrecked, I guess. So like the part that was really funny about this was there were maybe 50 people in the community at the time. It was like our community was pretty small. It's like average viewers like 50, 40. Yeah, there we go. There were like 5 people that said, you're like a government shill and COVID isn't real. And they like attacked me over it while I was dying of COVID. And it was because it was too new. Like no one believed it was real. And it was just really, like at the time it was devastating. I was like, oh, right. The whole community is falling apart because I have COVID and I'm dying. And then after that, like it just, like everyone realized, oh wait, this is real. And then I was like, try to recover. And one of those people came back and apologized to me. One of them did. And after that, nobody talked about it again. Everyone was like, oh no, this is real. Yeah, it was like a really wild thing, frankly. Yeah, so like anybody that was like, oh, COVID isn't real, any of this kind of shit, like, no, dude, that almost killed my ass. I almost died from that. It took about 2.5 years of recovery, which you're seeing here, right? Like I was able to stream sometimes, but like most of these are like 2.5 hour stream, 6 hour stream, 6 hour stream, 4 hour stream, 6 hour stream, 4 hour stream. Like this is where I like started to be able to like stream again. And then over time, this is when it tried to kill me. This is when I got the inhaler and I was like, oh, shit, I can actually breathe again. And then this is when the fungus started to take over my lungs. And then they killed the fungus. And then it was like, oh man, I can stream again. And this was like 2.5 total years. Like it's just awful. It was an awful, awful time. But I survived and I live now. And now I can stream and do whatever I want. Yeah, the lungus is gone. Still my sense of smell. So I never lost my sense of smell. You know what I lost that was really weird? And it was caused by the happy hypoxia. I lost the temperature feeling of hot and cold. And I remember the moment that I realized this, I was in the shower and I was like, why isn't the water warm? And I just couldn't get the water to feel like anything. It just felt like pressure. And I was like, lukewarm ass water. And then I realized the whole room is full of steam and it's on the highest temperature possible. And I just couldn't feel it. And I was like, oh, that's not good. It's like, that's bad. Yeah, that's really bad. Yeah, that's what happens when you're suffocating. You can't feel hot and cold. It was really bad. Yep, could have burned the shit out of myself, but I didn't, thankfully. Yeah, could have made Thor stew. I was cooking me without realizing it. Yeah, no, it sucked. But no, Loki got the same thing. Loki is one of our ferrets. Loki got COVID as well, and we had to put her on an inhaler as well. But she survived. Took her 6 months. Took me 2.5 years. It's like 2 years mostly. Yeah, Loki's still alive too. Yeah, she recovered way faster than me. I was a beta tester, yeah. But no, like I don't know, man. There was all kinds of people who were just outrageous about that. It made no sense. How does a ferret get COVID? Ferrets can get COVID. They have ACE2 receptors, just like humans. They can actually get the flu from you. They can get common cold from you. They can get COVID from you. Ferrets largely are receptacles for human-borne disease, for a number of human-borne disease. Not all of them, but it's commonly why we use them for medical testing. The only other way that you can do testing for that kind of stuff generally is by using what's called humanized mice, which are genetically modified mice so that they have ACE2 receptors. That's why we use ferrets. It's not fun, it's not great, but that's why they use them, because it's the cheapest option.